Hi, this is Alexis from the Mike Calta Show. This next clip is of Joe List. He's a comedian, podcaster, and also a skinny little nerd. I could probably kick his ass. I missed the thing.
All right, go get Joe List, please. Bring him in the studio. Joe List is in town. He is going to be at Side Splitters Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 goddamn shows on Friday.
Ooh.
6, 8, and 10:30. He
Wow.
wants to do that. And then Saturday at 7 o'clock. Out on Thursday. No Thursday show. Out on Saturday. No Sunday show for him.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go tonight. See, this is why I wish sometimes that we still did afternoons, because I would go. I forgot
definitely.
how tall you are. I always think you're going to be little.
I'm wearing lifts.
Yeah.
I used that joke 5 minutes ago on him.
Oh, you did, really?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
That's all right. That's why we don't talk before the show, because I don't want to have to redo any material.
Good.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to see you.
Thanks for having me.
What other radio shows do you do?
I'm
that
doing
you
zero
like?
other radio shows.
Do you
here.
not do, well, like, not here, but I mean, like, when you travel?
In life.
Yeah, like, who do you like?
Bennington. I do Bennington a lot.
That's a home turf one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, on the road. Like when you travel into Sheboygan to do the funny split side bone, or whatever they call those places, the Happy Clam.
Skid Marks is my favorite fake comedy club name. Nick DiPaolo would always say, I'm in Buffalo, it's Skid Marks. There's no other radio show that I regularly go to. I feel like everywhere else, it's a new radio show every time, or no radio.
Interesting.
This is my favorite radio show, and I'm not just saying that.
No, you just said it's the only radio show, so
Yes.
how could it not be your
That's a good
favorite?
point.
Kind of works out.
Good point.
What? How is Nick DiPaolo doing? Is he in a deep depression now since he lost his job?
I got to be honest. I missed the news for a while, and I just found out, and I haven't had a chance to reach out to him. I'm being a bad friend, so I'm going to call him today.
Although, let's be honest, you don't want to call Nick DiPaolo. Like, you want to be a good friend, but you know this is not going to be an easy phone call to make.
Yeah, well, the way I found out was I texted his producer, and I was like, hey, can I come on? I'm going to Tampa. And
and you didn't even know?
No, and he was like...
I work at Arby's now.
I was like, I'm going to text Nick as well. And he's like, do not text Nick. I was like, oh, shoot. I didn't even realize. So,
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him, but I think he's doing okay.
I'm sure he's fine, but I feel bad for him because he enjoyed that radio show.
Yeah, he loves the radio. He hates traveling, and he's good suit for radio. He's hilarious, and he hates to travel, and he hates people.
I called his show as a caller one time, and he told me I was dumb and hung up on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was great.
Oh, that's fun.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's not an open-minded guy.
He's not.
No.
He has his beliefs, but that's what makes a good radio guy, a guy who has firm beliefs and has no problem saying it to whoever disagrees with him.
Yeah, and he's the funniest guy on the planet. Which
he's
helps.
very funny.
Yeah.
But mean also helps make funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mean is funny.
He is mean.
That's been a big debate the last few days.
I know. Well,
mean is funny.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So I had not heard of Michelle Wolf before the White House correspondence.
Yeah, that's a lot of people are saying that.
Okay, so I mean I can't. I have to get up early, so I never see the Daily Show or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm so far behind on television shows and stand-up specials and all that stuff that basically the only time I get to watch TV is when I'm in car line waiting for my son to get out of school. I get a good hour of just uninterrupted viewing.
Right.
And I'm behind on stuff. Can't even watch Westworld. Finally caught up on Silicon Valley. So I was unaware of her. So I watched the entire thing on YouTube, and I voted for Trump. I voted for Obama twice, and I voted for Trump. I like Trump. I find myself defending him more because people are constantly attacking him. And I thought she was fantastic. I thought she was so funny where I actually was like, this chick is hilarious. I couldn't believe that people were still crapping on her.
Yeah, she is hilarious, and she's great, and I loved it. I thought it was so rock and roll. It felt so cool. It was like punk rock. She was just trashing everybody.
Everybody.
Somehow
the hotel started with the hotel and then trashed everybody in it.
Yeah, and she made fun of Democrats. She made fun of Hillary. She made fun of herself, and then... It's so funny because everyone's like, you don't make fun of a woman's looks, which I'm like, why? I don't understand.
And she didn't even make fun of her looks.
No, she didn't make fun of her looks. She made fun of Mitch McConnell and Chris Christie. No one's upset about that.
That was a great joke about Chris Christie, and he's there.
Yes.
You know?
And eating, which was perfect.
Yeah.
He's eating.
Turning the spoon.
And I don't understand people. It's very strange because there's like all this equality. It's a great time for women and a women's movement equality, but they're like, you don't make fun of a woman's looks. And I'm like, well,
it's equality.
Shouldn't it be equal?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. And like... This whole thing of like punching up and punching down, I never heard of that my whole life. We always punched down and punched up, and this is comedy.
And that White House Correspondents' Dinner has, in years previous to that has also been brutal.
Yeah.
To usually the president who is sitting right there.
Right.
And then the writers will write, like Obama delivered some great jokes back, because obviously writers are writing that for him, but he was good at presenting that.
Right.
So it's always been enjoyable to watch. And I think the fact that the president didn't go this year, she saved it. If she wasn't so good, because I couldn't tell you what Larry Wilborn or Wilcox, whatever his name is, what he did when he hosted it, or there was somebody in the middle, I think. Right. I don't even know who that was.
Larry Wilmore said the N-word. That was his big thing.
Oh, he did?
In like a friendly way or whatever way.
What does that sound like, Joe?
The version.
Give me a mean version and the
said,
friendly version.
You know, you my boobily boo. But he said it in like a way. But that was like a big controversy, I think, too. But they're always going to trash everybody. But it's funny, a big go-to of insult to Michelle is like, I've never even heard of this woman, but you're like, yeah, but you've heard of her now.
Yeah.
Like now she is famous, so there's no coming back.
No, and my thing is that I didn't even say it as an insult. I had been, but I had just been unaware of her, and I'm glad that I know who she is now. Yeah. I now follow her on Twitter, and may even decide to check out her show. She's got, and how brilliant is that? You got a new TV show. What's the best way to get attention for it? Scorch the earth.
It's amazing. She's gotten a lot of attention. I had a Netflix, if I may plug it.
Please.
I have a Netflix stand-up season 2. But it came out, and I went on every radio show and all these stuff. I added like 2,000 Twitter followers in a week. And then Michelle did her thing. In like 10 hours, I added 500 followers because her 4th tweet down is, check out Joe List's Netflix. Nice. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the hell's happening right now?
Yeah.
And it's all runoff from her. So I got more love from her thing than I did from doing every radio show I could think of in my own work.
You didn't do this show?
No.
Netflix
I mean,
special.
like every kind of...
I'm just saying.
I watched it, though.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
I appreciate it. I just got recognized at Starbucks. It was pretty exciting.
Did you really?
Yeah, a guy just stared at me real uncomfortably and said, you're a funny guy. And then I said, I'm at Side Splitters. And he goes, and then he walks away. Which is weird, because sometimes people, they're like, I'm a big fan. And I'm like, oh, come to the club. They're like, well, I'm not going to go to a show.
Yeah. That's usually me.
Yeah, it's frustrating. But what can you do?
I don't know. It's not that I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's just that, things going on.
It's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of work.
Do people give you when they recognize you, they want you to say something funny? That's got to be the most annoying thing.
A little bit, yeah, and I never have any idea what to say, and I go, oh, thank you, God, yeah.
A lot of times people will come up to me at our events and stuff, and they'll go, would you talk to my son who couldn't make it here? But that's so uncomfortable, because I don't know your kid, and most likely your kid is not feeling as cool about this moment as you think he is.
Right.
So I always grab the phone, walk away, and I go, hey, your dad likes other guys, and he doesn't know how to tell it to you, so he thought it would be a softer break if I could tell you your dad's gay.
That's great.
Yeah, do whatever you can to just try and ruin their relationship.
That's perfect. I think it's important to ruin father-son relationships.
Where is your father?
My father's at home right now.
Where? What state?
In Massachusetts.
Oh, it's a tough loss for you guys last night.
Tough loss, but I think it's going to be a long series, and I think it'll probably go at least 6 or 7. The Bruins will win at least one more game.
I don't think so.
Possibly 3 more games.
I don't think so. I think the Lightning, after last night, they have proven that this is it. They're in it to win. Are you a big Bruins fan?
A huge Bruins fan. Hockey's my #1 sport.
Oh, good. I like that.
And I just think they're very evenly matched, and the Bruins. That's the thing with hockey that's crazy. Like the first game, it seemed like, oh, Boston's got a cruise. This is insane. And then the next 2 games, you're like, oh, Tampa Bay's going to cruise. It's hockey.
It's the one. It's really weird because I think there's so much downtime in between periods. Like with football, you only have halftime to make adjustments.
Right.
And with hockey, you have 15 strong 15-20 minutes in between each period to sit there and look at stuff and talk about it, and you could actually make an adjustment that works in between periods to come out and win. So I think we both have great goalies.
Yes.
And it's been a battle of the goalies, and our #1 line hadn't scored any points last night. I mean, we're into line 3 and 4 that are doing all the scoring for us.
Yeah, that happens a lot, I feel like, in hockey. This is a laugh a minute, by the way. That happens a lot because you're up against their top defender, and you. This
is a hockey town. People like when you talk about hockey.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
well,
even though you Boston people seem to not believe that there are hockey fans here. Well, I had to fight the entire city one time on Twitter.
Yeah, it is a hockey town, and but people, they think everyone, like New York, the big hockey towns, Detroit, New York, they're like, oh, Florida, they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Although I can't imagine there's that many Florida Panther fans. It feels like a weird.
But down in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, there were, because they were here first. Now they've sucked for so long.
No, were the Panthers here first?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That sounded positive.
Yeah, because I lived in Miami when the Panthers debuted.
I guess so.
And then when I moved back here to Tampa, that's when the Lightning started.
Right.
I think I'm right.
25 years for the Lightning this year. I think you might be wrong, but I don't want to get in a big thing. It's
You
your
want to fight
show.
about it? You want to fist fight?
They were founded in 1993.
Both teams?
No, the Panthers were. So let's see.
I think the Lightning were 93 too. I believe they're celebrating their 25th year. So maybe it was the same year. Maybe we're both gay.
Neither one of us want to do
Right. I meant to
do
say.
math.
let's see.
Anything?
Big moment. They couldn't have come out in the same year.
92 Lightning. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Sure.
Joe is right. Burn.
All right. We
He
have to
gets to
kiss
host
now.
the show now.
Keep going
Joe, we're
with
going to
this
have to
game.
ask you to leave. Joe List is here. Now, are you married now? Yes.
I'm married. I have a wedding. Yeah, I wasn't married last
You
time.
were
I was
not
here.
married. I
I'm
was trying
married
to
now.
discourage you from getting married.
Oh, well, it's working out great. I love it. By the way, I just thought I have a hockey-related bit.
Oh.
Do you want to hear a bit?
Sure.
It's kind of a bit.
Okay.
Kills in New York, bombs everywhere else. I was watching a documentary about Bobby Orr,
Yeah.
hockey
I
player.
was there last night.
And, yes, he was. And he would go and visit sick kids in the 70s, like the height of his popularity. And I was, like, inspired. I was like, I want to try that. And I got halfway to the hospital and realized I'm not a famous person.
Right.
Which is a big key if you want to go visit sick kids randomly in the hospital. You definitely have to be famous.
It's kind of why I'm glad I'm not famous, because I feel like have you ever been overseas to a war or
I have.
Where have you been?
I went to Iraq twice,
Ooh.
and Kuwait.
Who asked you? Who gives you the call?
It was comedy related, by the way. I didn't fight. I don't want anyone to think.
Stolen valor.
I don't want to get women throwing themselves at me because I'm a hero. But I mean, let's be honest, I'm a hero.
You're a hero.
Yeah. I mean, but anyways,
Who calls you and says we need you to go to Iraq?
a fella named Scott Kennedy who passed away. He used to run his own sort of company. He went there like 87 times or something.
Oh
like that.
wow.
He died in the war. No, he had a heart attack. But
Who else did you go with?
I went with Nate Bargatze both times, and then Louis Katz one time.
And it's just you and Nate?
It was me, Nate, and Scott was a comic as well.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, we went out there.
And they
amazing.
appreciate you when you get out there?
They were amazing. They were so grateful, so cool. And, I mean, some of the crowds, the safer the place, the better the crowd. Like in
Yeah.
Kuwait, they were just like a comedy club. They were great. But,
Right.
like, in Baghdad, they were kind of, like, looking both ways and like, yeah, great, good for you.
We'd laugh, but we have to keep it down.
Yeah, it was pretty, it was pretty amazing.
Did
It
you
was
feel
awesome.
unsafe?
I felt safe just because, like, they're such badasses that they're just looking normal. It's like when you're in turbulence, you kind of look at the flight attendant and
Right.
you're like, oh, we're all right. They seem fine. They're
Yeah.
yawning and reading. Like that. These guys were just, they had machine guns. You're like, I guess we're fine. We got out of the car at one point in Baghdad by the cross swords there, the old where Saddam statue
Right.
fell. Mission accomplished. And we got out there and walked around, and it was just like, all right, I guess this is normal.
I wouldn't do that. And see, that's why I'm glad I'm not famous, because I don't want anybody to call me and go, we want you to come do your radio show from Baghdad. And I'll be like, nope.
You got to tell them you're afraid to fly. I think Larry the Cable Guy doesn't fly, so he does all these things for the soldiers in Nebraska.
That's a good
Just gotta
gimmick.
Throw that out there, yeah.
That's smart.
He doesn't fly.
I believe he doesn't fly, or he hates to fly. Something. You might have to look that up too. I don't know.
I don't know. I was talking
Who
about
cares?
yesterday. Jeff Dunham, the ventriloquist, is worth how much, you think?
It's a lot.
Take a guess. We looked it up yesterday.
40 million?
That's what I said. It's almost double that.
Really?
Jeff
Wow.
Dunham almost died flying his own helicopter doing tricks. Would you, if I was worth $80 million, I wouldn't even leave the ground. I don't even jump.
No, I would not. I certainly would not fly my own helicopter.
No.
That's
and I
for
wouldn't be
sure.
doing tricks. I would want the safest, anything to keep me alive as long as possible.
Yeah,
I would
agreed.
get somebody else's head put on my body if I had to. I don't know. I just think that if I have that much money, I'm gonna just try and live forever.
Yeah, I have no money and I want to live forever. I should say I have money. I have some money.
How much money? Like if you went to the ATM right now and took out $20, what would it say your balance is?
My checking account, probably about $4,000. But now I'm incorporated because of this
Oh.
Netflix bit. So I'm
Right.
a company. I'm my own company right now.
Right, and they
So-
pay you directly to the company, so you
Yeah.
can write everything off from that.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Netflix pays you up front.
They paid me. They give you half when you do it, and then half when it comes out. Which I'm still waiting on that second check, by the way.
You want me to call? I'll get it back for you for 10%.
Yeah, please.
And that's good money?
Great money.
Great money.
Great money. I got both checks were more than my dad makes in a year. So that
That's
was
good.
exciting. Yeah, it was
That's
a fun
good.
feeling. I wanted to really stick it to him. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. What does your dad do, or what did he do?
My dad, he still works. He
Okay.
works at a hospital. He's like in charge of purchasing, like where they buy gowns and sheets. I guess.
Okay, so he supplies for the hospital.
Yeah. He's in the basement of the hospital. He wears a tie. I'm not really sure. More than that.
Right.
He doesn't say a ton. which is what brings me to Side Splitters in Tampa, Thursday through Sunday.
So where he's not making more than his dad this weekend, I would imagine.
No. Well, making more this week than he's making
Than
this
your
week,
dad's
I would
making,
imagine.
yeah. Not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling when you make more than when you make more than both your parents combined. That's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah. What do they know?
What did they ever give you a hard time about wanting to be a comedian?
No, they were super supportive.
Really?
Super nice. Yeah.
You wouldn't strike me because you're very funny. I don't get me wrong, but you also don't. I don't know if I would see that in my son. Like my son right now, he's got a good personality, but if he said to me, "I want to be a comedian," I'd be like, "You're not funny."
That's nice of you. That's a good service. We need more people to not be supportive
Right?
of people of their dreams.
That's how I am with podcasters. Whenever you comedians want to do podcasts, which you're an exception,
Thank you.
I go, stop doing it. Listen, enjoy what you have with comedy and stop trying to do radio.
Yeah, most people are really bad at it.
Yes. Now you guys do it in a very interesting way, where it's a lot of just straight up talking and stories, and I enjoy that.
Yes, we just fire right through. Well, we're both terrified of dead air and bombing, so there's a lot of... Someone described our podcast well, where he said, it sounds like two guys desperately trying to entertain me.
Right.
Which I feel like a lot of people podcasting, they don't do that. I listen to a lot of podcasts, they're literally like, oh, look at this guy walking by.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a guy walking by.
Because they run out of material.
Yeah, or
it's
they're
not
looking
as
at your
easy as
phone.
people think it is.
Yes, it's not. And so, like, people were like, you should do twice a week. I'm like, we're
Getting through the
limping to the
one.
finish line doing 1 hour a week.
And a lot of podcasts are with comedians, just our comedians have other comedians on their podcast, and then they go on their podcast.
Yes.
And it's just comedian, let's go on this guy's, and
Right.
we'll go on yours,
How
and
many
you go on
times
ours.
am I going to have to hear the story about you robbing a train in Russia? I know how it goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of getting to know you. What makes you tick? Like we don't care. We just want to say horrible things.
Do you get asked to do a lot of podcasts? Because I would imagine that's the other annoying thing.
Quite a bit, yeah, and it's hard because you're like, I've answered all these questions on much bigger podcasts.
Right.
It's like weird. I'm like, okay, like, I'll tell you the story, but like it's on Pete Holmes' podcast.
Right. We know that you know the story from
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
to Pete Holmes.
So, but yeah,
That's funny.
I do it, and I just did a show yesterday for a guy I think that works with you,
Who?
Oh, no.
Not Hoppy.
Hoppy. Yes.
Oh, brother.
I did his show.
Go. Well, that should sell some tickets.
All right. Well, no good.
No, terrible. You know
tell?
it's terrible.
You couldn't tell?
Well, his email really made it sound like I was doing a thing.
His email saying, "Hey Joe, I'm a big fan of comedy and radio." And
Dude, I'm an award-winning podcaster.
That's
Yeah.
what it said.
Oh.
Award winning. That was the title.
it's a fake award.
You know
We got
why?
him the award.
Yeah, award-winning, right
Oh,
here.
jeez.
We
As
told
Joe
people to
told
vote for
everyone
him.
to vote for him.
Oh, God. Well, I feel like a dope now. But he's had everybody on. It's like DePaulo, Norton. He had Cosby on.
It's kind of like
They drugged him.
when you have that special kid who, no matter what his disabilities are, he's going to be in whatever his goal is. I don't care if I have one leg. I'm going to be the world's best hockey player. And everybody's
Right.
like, you go get him. And then Wayne Gretzky comes and says, you can do it. That's kind of like what it's
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say I did. It was fun doing the show. I enjoyed the show. I love you, Hoppy. You're a good man.
Oh, my God.
But
those are words I don't hear very often.
I did.
Where did you do it? Did you do it on the phone?
I did it
or
over the phone.
Yeah, then that's probably better.
And I'm also a Boston Red Sox fan, and it happened while Mookie Betts was hitting his third home run of the game in the middle of the interview. So if you listen to it, you can hear the moment where he hits his third homer, because I'm like, well, I started back. Oh, it's great. Everything's great.
You were
wow.
so into the hobby interview.
Yeah, and you can hear me texting over the phone. But anyways, yeah, it was nice. But I did.
God, I wish I had that audio. I'd love to hear some of that right now.
I'm sure you can find it.
Oh, I'm
somewhere.
sure I could too. I just don't really want to put the effort into it.
Yeah, right?
Your listen might put us into double-digit listens. But I did go and look at the Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff, and there was no likes on any of it. So I was like, listen, I feel
No.
like I got duped.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. It's kind of like Hoppy's like our pre-interview.
Great.
If you've talked to Hoppy, then eventually. So what does he do? He reaches out through email, "Dear Joe."
He emailed me a couple times, the award-winning thing, and then he sent me a couple tasteful nudes, and I said, he's a handsome guy. I'll do it. No, it was great. I feel bad. I feel like this. I love it. I love him. I love everybody. Everybody's great.
You don't want to make any enemies. You want to love everyone.
No, I love all the people.
Who don't you love in comedy? Who made you mad? Who did something to you when you were first starting out? You were like, I'll never forget that.
I feel like you always ask me this.
Did I?
Or something similar.
I'm
yeah, you're always
interested
like,
in
who do you
those sort of
hate?
things.
I like everybody. I
I
get
know.
along with everybody. There's comics that I think are terrible comics and have success.
Like
but
who?
I've accepted. It's not about. It's about show business is a lot of different things.
Right.
There's looks and there's meeting quotas and there's the business side, and so I just accept my place.
And where? Oh, there it is. Hoppy Hour. Joe List.
Hoppy?
Right by. Yeah,
Is that
that's Hoppy putting sunscreen on Bert on our cruise. Yeah, have you gotten to see the 7-foot Frankenstein?
Have I?
Yeah.
No. What's 7-foot Frankenstein?
That's Hoppy.
That's him.
Hoppy is spraying sunscreen on Bert Kreischer right now in the
wow.
video that you're watching.
So Hoppy's got some street cred. Look at, he's at the beach with Bert Kreischer. That's something.
He piggybacked on our cruise. That's what it was.
We need somebody
brought him.
to hang banners high.
Yeah.
That's
I
him
see.
hulking out and ripping a bag off of his head.
He got mad. The only way we'd let him in the studio is if you put a bag over his head. And he got mad when they ripped the bag off and stormed out of the studio. Roar.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Hoppy. Hoppy, come to my house. I'm going to bake you a cake and rub your feet.
Who would you say is the most successful comedian that doesn't deserve their success? I know you've thought about this.
Boy, most successful it does. I mean, I'm never going to answer, but I just want to have the answer in my head to tell you off air.
Yes. If you lip it to me, I'll say, you know who I don't like? I'll take it as if it's me.
I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I don't watch a ton of comedy either. I don't watch bad comedy. So there's plenty of people that are
Who do you
huge.
watch? Who do you like? How about that?
Who do I
Besides
like?
Nick
Well, that's
DiPaolo.
much easier.
Besides your
answer.
friends, like who have you like Pete Holmes? I love that Crashing Show.
Yes,
he's made me.
enjoy it.
You brought him up, and I just thought of it. He's made me a fan now from that show.
Yeah, I enjoy the show very much. Who do I like? God, it's hard. I mean, most of the people that I love,
Are your friends?
our friends. I mean, John Mulaney's amazing. I mean, I'm buddies with John Mulaney, but we're not close friends.
What does
he's-
that mean?
he's
Like
great.
you'd see him at a bar, and he'd go, "Oh, hey Joe," and hey,
Yeah, he
John."
knows my name. We've
But you
worked
guys
together.
don't go out together.
No, we don't hang out.
Okay.
But like,
Who's your best friend?
My best friend is not a comic.
Oh, I think I think you told me that.
His name is Derek, and he actually just had a number 2 accident on his 37th birthday. No alcohol.
What happened?
Really?
He just
Did he not make it to the bathroom?
no. It
or-
was in his sleep. He woke up. It was like the horse's head in Godfather, except his own business.
That's colon cancer.
Oh boy, don't say that.
Yeah, it is.
By the way, I'm terrified right now. I talked to Matt off air, but I think I might have E. coli. I ate a bad pizza last night.
Oh no, where in Tampa?
It was from Tiani's or something
Oh,
like
you're
that.
gonna die.
It was a Mexican pizza restaurant. It
Who
felt
does that?
Very doughy.
Who does that?
It was all that was open.
Where?
And I was like, hello, and they were like, hola.
Hola is not good when you're getting pizza.
I was like,
you hear Ola, don't order pizza.
And I just heard him be like, pizza, la queso, and whatever, Spanish. I can't speak Spanish. I hope I'm not punching down right now.
No, you're good.
And then it came, and it was very doughy and whitish dough.
All right.
Very soft. Am I going to be all right, you think?
No, you'll poop it out by the end of the day. You'll be fine. But your friend, if you have uncontrollable movements in your sleep,
Yeah.
he's got problems. He's got to have that checked out.
That's what I said. Well, it's funny that you can have such different personalities. Like, are you going to the hospital? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm
Yeah.
like, well, are you going to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm having fun with it. And I was like, if I sneeze more than 3 times, I'm like, I got to go to the doctor and call my mother and go
Right.
to WebMD. But he's crapping the bed, and
How old of a man are you now?
I'm 36. I just turned 36.
So you haven't had the test, the finger test.
No, I mean, I've had fingers in my butt, but
Not for a test.
medically.
Right,
No.
I got you.
Can I say
Okay.
that? Do we have
I
to
don't
know that?
I'm not 100% sure. I think you're being fleeting and funny, so it's okay.
Okay, great.
Medically
I was talking to medical.
Yeah.
Yes.
It'd be ironic if we had to dump it.
No.
Um,
Wait a second. So you have not had the test. Are you worried about that? Have you ever had because I used to have what I call ass lightning. Sometimes I would get a pain that felt like it went from my butt all the
Yes.
way in and out. I don't know what it was, and I'm never going to have it checked out because I have a feeling they're going to go, oh, you have butt cancer.
I get that. My friend Derek and I, we talk about that. I
About
think
your
that's
ass
pretty
lighting.
normal. Yes. You
Thank
get like,
you.
wow. yeah.
What was that show with Ted Danson and
Cheers.
No, the one on HBO with the kid that is Talia Shire's son. What is that?
Oh, I don't even know.
Yes,
Becker, Curb.
No, man, you know all your Ted Danson
I
shows.
love
HBO with Ted.
It was Jason Schwartzman, and
that was yeah. Where they were like,
well, anyway, that show with Ted Danson. Ted had a wiener lighting. He had a pain in his wiener like that.
Had that too.
So we all have had it.
Yeah.
So when he said that on the show, I was like, I thought I was the only one who had that. So he went and got it checked out on the show, And it turned out he had whatever he had, but she said that's very normal. That's just a nerve thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, that makes you feel good.
That makes me feel good, too.
I'm a neurotic guy. I get it in my testicles as well.
Oh, I never had that.
Yeah, I have a thing called varicocele or varicocele. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've only read about it a bunch.
Right.
But it's a varicose vein in your testicle area.
Oh.
And I don't know how graphic I can get here.
Well,
but
this is a medical thing.
It's medical. It looks like a bag of worms. And it literally says that on WebMD. You can look up varicocele,
Right.
and it'll describe it as a bag of worms. And I showed my wife, and she's like, "It looks like a bag of worms." I was like, "I got a bag of worms." So we call it my worms.
Let me see it.
I'm not gonna take my ball bag out. That's insane.
What? What if I notice something that your wife doesn't? Maybe I save your life today.
No, she got right in there. I put him right on her forehead. She got a close look. All right, we've gone too far.
How's married life? Oh, there it is. There's a picture of it.
That's Joe.
That's what you have?
Well, that's the internet. So the internet shows you the worst. I got very attractive varicocele.
Oh, okay, good. Yours just looks like a little bag of worms.
Yeah, it looks similar. That one looks like it's empty, like there's something missing on it.
Yeah. Okay, so that looks like I'm not even uncomfortable looking at this. You got
so bad.
old man nuts is what you have.
I got old man nuts, and they're bright red and very lengthy.
Okay.
Bright red.
It's fluorescent.
Oh.
It's like a battery pack.
That's not good.
No. I'll
By
be
the way,
fine.
Bored to Death was the name of the show.
Yes, bored to
yes.
death.
And also, you don't even have to do the finger test anymore. They do it with blood. They can check your blood, and then they
I
say
need the
if there's
finger.
a certain amount of whatever, then they do.
I need the finger. I want to know. I want to know for
need
sure
it.
that somebody's been there. And,
All right.
You know
I
what
had
I'm saying?
the finger before. Talking about sports. In 2003, the Red Sox Yankees ALCS. You're familiar. You're a Yankee fan.
I am.
I was we're sticking with the number 2 business, but I had blood coming out of my.
And how do you notice that?
What do you mean?
Excuse me. Do you notice on the? I'm not one that looks at the toilet paper.
Oh, I look. I get right in there. I put
do?
my head in the bowl. I want to know. Well, because I'm very paranoid. I want to make sure everything's solid or different colors or whatever.
I'll let you in on this little secret before we continue the story. Is that and this is I know this is going to be awkward, and I do have to be delicate the way we describe this because we don't want to. But when I'm cleaning myself, I go like a girl in between the legs.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
I'm a guy who likes a clean BH is what I am. I like to get in there and really I go back to the front, back to the front, back to the front. Then, excuse me, I don't have your parts. I don't have to worry about diving into the other hole.
Yeah.
And then I go front to the back just to make sure both ways are I in my head, I've never seen what it looks like, but in my head I could draw it if I wanted to because I've kind of like a blind person. I've been in there so much, I know where everything is. Like if anything was ever out of place, I would know right away.
Wow.
So you are doing this and then looking at every time? Why? What do you expect to see?
Well, I want to. How do you know when you're done wiping?
You can tell the difference between the what do they call that one?
Texture?
Not texture when there's like one surface over another surface. It changes.
What
You know what I'm saying?
surface?
It's kind of hard for me to describe on the radio. It was the viscosity.
The viscosity.
Changes. Yes.
I don't know that word, but it sounds.
It's
I'm
like
disappointed because I feel like I just realized you're smarter than I am, which is a bummer.
oh, I'm totally.
He's not
damn.
because he's using it wrong.
No, I'm not. Look,
Viscosity
Google
is
it.
like if oil once
Yes.
it starts going, it's thicker, and then as it gets hot, it becomes less thick.
I believe I've used that word very
It
correctly.
sounds like what you're trying to say.
Thank you.
I
Right.
think.
The viscosity is, I feel, thick, thinner, regular.
Interesting.
Viscosity breakdown.
I'm a looker.
Yeah.
I like to look and really know
so you
my body.
You see something that alarms you.
Yes.
You see red.
Almost every time.
Oh.
Yeah. But I saw red and I looked in the toilet and it looked like a real situation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's bad.
So I went to the hospital and they did like a CAT scan and the finger and all this business. And at the end they were like, I think you might just be stressed. Have you been extra stressed lately? And I was like, well, yeah. It was the morning of Game 7 in 03. And so I was like,
You're not on the
watching these
team.
games.
You shouldn't be so stressed that you're having blood in your stool.
But at the time, I mean, I was a very stressed guy anyway.
Yeah.
I'm the best I've ever been right now.
What drugs are you on?
No drugs.
How are you so good now?
I go to a therapist who's wonderful. His name is Alan. He's a big Jew, and he's terrific.
What do you say to him? What is your source of anxiety?
Upbringing, it's all learned behavior. I do a joke about it. It's all family. Everyone's problems, it's all family. It's all learned behavior. And understanding that is a big help. And,
Right.
I got to try to make this funny at some
No.
point.
You listen to me. Listen to me. People want to know who they're going to see and what's making those people. It doesn't have to be funny at all times.
Great.
Yes, relax. I need to know this is a very interesting story right now.
Yes.
You go to therapy and you go, I don't know. They'll say to you, why are you here today? Let's reenact it. Hi, Joe. Why are you here today?
Something just flew by the window. That was scary.
It's a bird.
Oh, okay.
Don't try
That's
to
why
change.
you're here?
We're indoors there. That was terrifying.
Don't try to change the subject,
That was
Joe.
a bat.
You're never going to be helped if you don't come
No,
clean.
no. Well, I come in. Well, now I go in and I'm like, I don't know why I'm here. I feel like $1 million right now.
So
now I
then
gotta
what
dig
brings
up
you in here
things.
today?
What's that?
Then what brings you in?
Well, I
What-
want to keep going. I want to keep this feeling up.
You went in there worried that you were no longer going to be happy?
Well, but the anxiety, it started with anxiety. I was having panic attacks, and I would go through insomnia, and
Okay.
anxiety. I thought I couldn't swallow.
So you
I
had
have
something.
OCD. I got OCD. That's the whole
Right.
thing.
You do look like one of those paranoid kind of guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm terrified that I have E. coli from eating Tiana's pizza
Are
last
you
night.
really genuinely worried about that?
It's all we talked about in the car ride over here.
Oh, my
It's
God.
doughy because I Googled and it's like E. coli, salmonella, raw pizza, the whole thing. But I'll be fine, right? You think I'll be all right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I
good.
have only gone to Google for health problems maybe 4 times in my life.
I do it 4 times an hour.
And everything is
what I'm-
cancer.
And
Yeah.
that's like my wife. My wife she's convinced that she's dying every day because of Google. I go, stop reading the Google. You'll be fine.
Every pair of testicles that we saw on the screen, I've looked at for an hour each.
You knew them all already?
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's Pete. And I know Greg.
I can't. I can really feel extra bad for people who have panic attacks now because I recently had a minor panic attack brought on by claustrophobia, and I thought if I had to deal with this on a daily basis, I don't know if I could live. I don't know how people live. I was in a confined space, and all of a sudden I started getting clammy hands and out of breath, and I was like, oh God, I'm having a panic attack. But people just wake up like that sometimes.
Yeah, it's horrible. I've gone through it a couple times in my life. It was scary. But the key is acceptance and accepting your worst fear and accepting the anxiety, and then it kind of
Is this what Alan has taught you, the big
yes.
Jew?
Yes, Alan in every Buddhist book, but it helps more to talk to an actual person who's talking to you because you read all the things, but it is like, what do they know? They're just writing it. But
Right.
a guy is just like, yeah.
See, but my problem with Alan is I go, oh, okay. I know better than Alan. That's what I always think. Like I'm smarter than Alan.
No, that's you gotta let go of that. It's all
Yeah.
about letting go and acceptance and assertion. You got to assert yourself. That's
Who's
a
the
big
source
thing,
of
too.
your anxiety? Your mother or your father?
I think both. Both. It's a lot from both. Because my dad was never. He's a very quiet guy, Boston Irish Catholic, a little bit unavailable. So I never had that.
Probably always thought you were
Guidance.
gay.
What's that?
Probably always thought you were gay.
Yeah, I got to assume.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I
Never
was-
told you he loves you.
Never, no hugs or I love yous or congrats or like, hey,
Really?
Pretty
What's
crazy.
his problem?
I think he's just a quiet guy. I think he's a shy guy. It's learned behavior. He learned it from his dad. you
See,
know?
now that's how my dad is. That's why I always say this on the show. One time I was with Bert, and Bert talked to his dad, and when he hung up the phone, I looked at him and I go, you literally have said I love you to your dad more times in that conversation than my dad and I have said to each other in our whole life. However, my dad and I, great relationship.
Oh, that's
I
good.
don't need to hear it.
Right.
And now once I've said that on the air, now he won't stop with it because I said that he never said I love you. Now every time I see him, he's like, I love you, son. I'm like, I get it. We're good. For
But
the
that's
future.
nice.
Yeah.
My dad, I started saying I love you and hugging him because of Alan. Alan's like, why don't you hug him? Say I love you.
Really?
And so I just
Oh,
started
Alan's
doing it.
creating awkward situations.
It's a little awkward, but you got to just, you got to get through it.
What
But then
was-
my mother's also extremely anxious.
Hold on. Tell me the first time about you that you went for an Alan move on your dad. What was your dad doing? Talking about how he hates queers, and you were like, I love you, Dad. Give me a hug.
No. My dad's a very open-minded guy. I don't want to
Open-minded
disparage him.
Boston Irish Catholic guy, yeah.
Yes, by the most liberal state,
Uh-huh.
only state that voted for McGovern in '72. Of course, that was 48 years ago, but whatever. I'm still clinging to that. But yeah, I think it was a move where I was like, "Hey, I'm hugging now." I
Oh, you
do
had to
that.
announce it
By
first.
Alan, yeah. And then I called
You
him
say
on
my
the phone.
therapist said I should do this?
Yes,
No
you
yeah,
funny,
did.
literally.
no
Yeah.
funny moves.
Yeah.
I'm coming in for a hug.
But I called him on the phone one time because I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "Do you call? What?" He was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to check in.
Yeah.
That's what my therapist said to do."
Be a good son.
And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "You watching the game?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "All right, take it easy." But it felt like at least I did it.
I
you
know, but do you still feel rejection? Because he's like, he didn't like that phone call.
A little bit. And then my therapist is like, "Why don't you say that you're hurting my feelings?" All those stuff. So,
Oh, my God. I could never do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to. It makes it worse for me.
But my therapist argues he's like, you're acting like it's a negative. You're going to make you uncomfortable and him uncomfortable. You're trying to get closer. The key is to get closer. Into,
Oh, no.
But we talk a lot about you got to be yourself and assert and not worry about people disliking you and all that crap.
Well, you have to worry about that. That's your job is based on that. I don't care like when people dislike me on Twitter and stuff because I know what that is. But if people do, you have to worry about whether or not people are going to like you because that's your job.
Well, you have to accept that you are funny and good at your job, and you just do your job to the best of your ability while being yourself, and understand that some people are going to dislike you and some people will like you.
What about your mother? What's her deal?
She's just very anxious. That's how she
That's where
sort
you
of
get it from?
relates. Yeah, extremely anxious, worries about everybody, everything, all the time.
Yeah.
That's her thing. So she relates through anxiety. My dad doesn't relate at
Do you
all.
bond with your mother over your common anxieties?
A little bit. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, a little bit.
If there was a fire in the house and you could only save your mother or your father, who would you save?
I would save my mother just because, women first, all that crap.
But you also because your dad didn't say I love you. Would you say that on the way out as you're carrying your mother? You should have said I love you.
Yeah, maybe if you asked how the Tonight Show was.
Now, yeah, that I would think that would see. I also know that both my parents are ridiculously proud of me, which I think makes for a better life. Because if I was on the Tonight Show and my dad didn't tell 100 people and call me up before and after, that would crush me. I think.
Yeah, I think that I think he's very proud of me, and it's exciting. I mean, he laughs. He comes to all the shows and they
Right.
laugh, and
He thinks you're funny.
yeah, I think he just doesn't know how to say it. I got to work on this. I got to talk to him.
This is great. I feel like me and Alan are gonna fix you.
Joe, by the way, on the Tonight Show, standing ovation, right?
Yes, it was like a half a standing ovation, and then Jimmy came out and he was like standing O, and then the rest of the people stood. So I'll take it. On paper, yes, standing O.
Can I give you this though? Can I just be honest with you? The standing O, you deserve it.
Thank
But
you.
I got a bad knee, and I just stood up for the national anthem. Like
It's
I
a
feel
lot.
like when I go to the hockey game, I'm like, "We standing again?" Yeah, go. I can sit down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's really a lot.
And then I don't know if I'm supposed to be the first one to stand. You may be the greatest comedian I've ever seen. Do I stand first? Do I wait for a couple other people to stand?
It's a lot. It's a whole thing. So you don't need to stand. That's okay.
After you leave the Tonight Show on a standing ovation, do you lay in bed at night and start thinking about all the things you could have done better?
No, I don't really have that. I felt.
I would do that.
was exciting.
That's my problem. I could have the best day in the world, best show, best interview, and then I'll go, damn, I should have done this. I should have done that.
That sounds like your dad beat that into you.
No.
Learned behavior.
Not at all. There's Joe on the Tonight Show.
Hell of a suit. That's a
on
Ted
TV.
Baker suit. Everybody, I wore it to my wedding.
Wait, that's the suit you wore to your wedding?
It is different shirt.
Yeah. So I would imagine your suit counts at one
What do you mean?
in your house, in your closet.
No, I have two. But
Two.
I bought one. I bought this one for Conan. I've worn this suit to Conan,
That's your TV suit.
Tonight Show, and my wedding. Well, the thing is, it was like a $1,600 suit, so I had to really justify it.
You don't think you get a new suit for the wedding? What was first, Conan, the wedding, or the Tonight Show?
Conan. I bought it at Conan the day before Conan, and it was way more money than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, well, I'll wear it to my wedding. And then I was like, I'll wear it on the Tonight Show.
and they can bury
nice
you in
suit.
it when you die of bleeding butt stuff.
Yeah, I might die this weekend.
They'll
I mean, I
bury
had
you in that after Tiana's Pizza.
a raw pizza. It
Yeah,
feels a little
yeah.
queasy in there right now, but
You're-
I'm probably fine.
You
right?
realize you're going to be fine. You're still second guessing it. Your stomach is already. Worst thing it does is just push it out, and then you'll have to look at the paper to
Like
make sure you're
germs
okay.
are good. It's proven. Like kids need germs. Like people who like over clean their children and like always hand sanitizing and stuff. Like their kids get sick more often.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
you don't have enough germs.
Also,
Yeah.
if it was that bad, you would have puked it up.
It would have
Yeah.
been really bad. Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right.
No
Yeah.
one is a doctor in here. You shouldn't be looking.
All I know is Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza is the best restaurant. It's
Right
like
there.
it's 7 steps away from the nightclub.
Well, I got
the
in
comedy
late.
club.
I got in really late.
I don't even know what Tiana's is.
It might not be Tiani's. It's something like that. though.
Well, Tiana's going to be very mad if it's not.
Yeah.
that.
Either way, they're going to be mad.
Yeah. Well, what can you do?
John Brennan, Carmen's boss, had texted
Oh,
me
my boss.
and said he also has the same nutworms that you had.
Oh,
And he had to have
nice.
surgery to
Oh.
get it removed.
Yeah, you can
Oh.
have surgery because it can hurt actually, but I wear tight panties and it kind of holds everything up.
Oh,
'Cause if
yeah.
you don't wear supporting underwear, it hurts. It can be.
Oh,
quite painful,
really?
Yeah. But now that I've gotten rid of a lot of stress, I'm feeling a lot looser and better.
How long have you been married now?
I got married on August 19th,
So
so
it's not even been a year.
no. 8
Still
months.
enjoying it?
Very much.
Smart move.
It's exciting. I think we don't have kids, so that helps a lot. That makes it easier.
Yes.
And
you
she's
know
a comedian. We're fun, and I'm on the road a lot.
Who performed his marriage?
Was it Bobby?
Robert Kelly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who
Robert
makes that decision?
I did. My wife did. I said Bobby would be great. My wife's pretty laid back, easygoing. She's like, yeah, that sounds great.
And what skills does he possess that you think I'm going to make a union that should last forever?
Well, Sarah
Let's
and I,
let this dummy do it.
my wife and I are both non-religious at all.
Okay.
Um,
My wife and I aren't either, and we hired a fake priest to do our wedding.
yeah, so we weren't going to go to a church, or we didn't need a priest. We didn't want really God involved. But it's nice.
Oh,
Bobby's
you're going
a-
to get smited when you say it that way. You didn't want God involved.
well, we didn't want any business.
Isn't there a part of you that says maybe it might be real? I should not say it that
Well,
way.
this is what we got Bobby because he's a spiritual guy. He's a believer and a spiritual guy. As funny as he is, he's a spiritual person. And
Okay, I
And
gotcha.
so we thought we'll have somebody that believes in God as part of it.
Okay.
And he's very funny. He's very sweet, and he's been very kind to me. And I thought he would do a great job because he's a funny guy, but also a very respectful and thoughtful guy.
You say thought. Did he, in fact, do a great job?
He did an amazing job. Yeah, he put a lot of effort into it. He was nervous about it.
Of course he was.
And
This is something that people are going to remember forever.
yeah, and he made a joke. He kept saying he asked Colin Quinn and Louis C.K., but they said no, and everyone laughed. But it was kind of hurt. It was like, no, you're the only person we thought of. I didn't even ask those guys.
Oh, wow.
And but he did a great job, and so I hope he knows that he was the only choice we ever had, and he was great. He was really funny.
And what is he? Does he do vows for you guys, or does he just say?
Yeah, he just read some crap. I don't know. He took some stuff, a couple things out of the Bible, like a description of love from the Bible.
Uh-huh.
And then he made a couple funny jokes. He plugged his Netflix special, which was I got a big laugh.
Uh-huh.
But he was sweet, and then he had us just say blah blah blah. But it was all fake. We had already been married.
Right.
We went.
All weddings are fake. You go get your marriage license, you're married.
Yeah,
That's
we went
it.
to the courthourse and did that whole thing.
Right.
And
So
so it
who
was like
gets
3 years
invited
later.
to your wedding? Is Colin Quinn at your wedding?
Colin Quinn was invited but couldn't make it. I was devastated.
See who your real friends are at that time.
Yeah.
Did Nick DiPaolo come?
Nick DiPaolo was there.
He was?
Yes.
Was he miserable?
No, I think he had fun. He was having fun. He
What's his
danced.
wife like?
She's amazing.
Is
I love his wife.
Is she opposite of him or the same as him?
She's similar to him.
Okay.
I mean,
That makes sense.
what is on now?
That's
Bobby
Bobby
Kelly.
Kelly in his movie when he was.
His
Oh
acting
my
debut.
God, I've never even seen that.
Oh yeah.
He looks hot.
He looks skinny.
He looks hotter than he looks
Right.
now.
Is that the girl from the X-Files?
What movie is
No, something pizza.
Boston douchebags.
What's the name of it, Joey?
Last night at Eddie's.
Yeah, there.
Wow.
you go.
Last Night at Eddie's.
Last night at Tiana's.
That's a different film. That looks more like the Dumb and Dumber scene. But anyways, Nick was. Oh, his wife is great. She's a tough cracker. You
Yeah.
know? And she gives it right back to him.
That's how
She's
you know
hot.
you're famous when you put your name in Google and it says, like, if I put Joe List and the second option is Joe List's wife, that's how you know you're famous.
Oh, that
People
feels
want to
good.
see what you're, because they're like, look at this guy. I wonder what his wife looks like.
Oh, that's exciting.
true fame.
That
right
makes me
there.
feel good.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it happened. I'm just saying.
Oh,
that's-
okay.
that's-
I'm sorry.
It is?
It's actually the first thing that comes up.
Oh, wow.
It goes wife and then comedian.
And then wrinkly testicles.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then this but anyways, yeah, it was a great wedding, great time. A lot of comics there.
Yeah.
We had a ton of comics there. It was fun.
Now, do you have a best man for this? Is this your friend Derek?
My friend Derek. He was
Not
the
Mark
best man.
Norman.
No.
Where does he fall in the rank of your best friends?
He's one of my best friends. Yeah, but Mark is a different. Mark is
He's a work friend.
Mark's the funniest guy I know, but he's not who I'm going to with varicocele problems or
That's
wife
us.
problems.
That's us. You
Yeah,
bring
that's
that
why
to
I come
us.
here for that.
I feel like we've learned so much about you today.
Yeah, I hope people learned enough to buy a ticket to Side Splitters.
Yeah, listen, Side Splitters, I don't know how they roped you into doing this, but there's 3 shows on Friday.
3 shows
6,
Saturday.
8. According to this,
That better be a typo.
it says Thursday at 8:30, Friday 6, 8, and 10:30, and Saturday at 7 p.m. That's wrong.
I think those are switched.
Spanish will be fired. So you'll have Saturday 6, 8, and 10:30.
I believe so. Yeah.
And then Sunday at 7.
I believe so. Yes.
Maybe
Um,
I can go to that show. I'd like to come see you.
Come see me. It's all new jokes. I'm working on this new stuff that's not on the Netflix. Can I plug my Netflix too? The stand-up
Of course
season
you
2.
can. You don't have to
Episode
ask.
1.
That's what you're here for. Plug
Right.
away.
Season 2, episode 1, the stand-ups.
Now,
And,
what is this? It's every they have a different stand-up comedian every.
No, it's 6 came out. Season 1 was 6 comics. Nate Bargatze and Dan Soder are on there. And then
I love both those guys.
they were both at my wedding. And Beth Stelling is on there. She was at my wedding as well.
Okay, and then you're on. I'm gonna watch this in Carline today because I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, please. I'm on season 2. If you watch Dan Soder's episode, it goes right into my episode because he was the last one of season 1 and I'm the first one in season 2. So it's a half-hour special or a half-hour. It's more of an episode.
It's very funny. It's really good.
Oh, thank you.
What do you want to do? Like, what's it? Because you're so unique. You have a look to you. You have
thank you.
Yeah. So I would want to see you as what, a neighbor on a sitcom. Like, what do you want to do?
I guess maybe. I don't know. I don't want to live in L.A. and sitcoms usually stink. But
Yeah.
I like doing stand-up. I'd like to have Brian Regan or Jim Gaffigan's career. I'd like to perform.
Oh, you'd rather you want their career.
Yeah. Well, they seem nice because they're not really famous, but they're millionaires and they're respected by their peers and they perform to their fans.
Yeah, that's what you want. Don't fly helicopters though.
No,
if
no.
you do that.
Burr is another guy, like similar to a Burr would be nice. And
Don't
I'd like
be
to pop in on other people's shows.
Don't be as angry as Burr.
As what?
I don't be as angry as Bill Burr.
No, I'm not as angry.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Alan. I got Alan.
You got Alan. How often do you see Alan?
Except once a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's great.
Do you
He's a
think
great
you're
guy.
going to up that?
No. I might take it down a notch, but I like to stay on top of it. It helps.
I don't know. I think Alan's actually doing damage to your relationship with your father. I think you and your father had a good thing going where you didn't really talk to each other that much. Now he's got you forcing physical relations between the two of you.
It's
Just-
good.
It's forced.
It's good for both of us. We
What's
get
it-
right in there. We hug.
You do?
Yeah, we compare penises. It's important.
Good. Well, that's good.
By the way, somebody on Twitter, Patrick on Twitter, sent me this. Tiana's has 2 stars on Yelp.
That sounds right. I don't know what they did to get that second star.
Uh-huh. Those were E. coli stars.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I hope you're okay. And if Joe lives, he will be at Side Splitters all weekend long. SidesplittersComedy.com. Very funny comedian. Great to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I really would like to try and come on out there on Sunday and see the
come
show.
out. Come
All right.
out.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Did you ever watch Chrisley Knows Best? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
You know who he is if you saw him. Todd Chrisley.
I don't think I know.
I only know because he comes on after wrestling. It's this guy, I don't know what he does, but he's got a reality show with his family. And I don't really know how it all started, but you watch it and you go, this is the dumbest thing ever. And then 2 hours of a marathon later, you're like, why am I still watching this show?
Oh, I don't.
I know what he does now. Like he has a fashion line.
Yeah, but he didn't do it. Like, where did he get his money before?
Fraud, I believe.
I'll
No,
ask
I'm
him.
serious. Like he and his brother had a big thing, and he stole a bunch of money.
Probably
supposedly,
real estate.
Oh,
And, yeah,
He
there's a
looks
lot
like
of stuff.
Swartzen a little bit. Nick Swartzen.
he does.
Yeah, a little bit.
Also ambiguously gay like Schwartzen. So, all right, well, Todd Chrisley's going to join us at the top of the hour. We'll take a quick break. It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone.
The Mike Calta Show on 102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio is your friends just sitting around shooting the only way more funny and interesting. 102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio.